Hey guys, it's SimQueen, and today I'm doing a build challenge by Simlicy. So she recently uploaded this build challenge to her channel, and I jumped at the chance to do it because I've really been enjoying these build challenges lately. Lil Simsy just did one, and I thought it was really fun, and so this one I thought would be really fun to do as well. This one is a little bit different than what Lil Simsy did. So this is basically she has built the foundation for the house, and she's placed down a toilet, a table, and a wall. And you can't move or delete any of those things, but you can change the colors of them. So that was like the most challenging part for this. But you can do as many floors as you want. You can do any kind of layout you want. And also there was a rule about no CC as well. But I mean, I don't really use CC anyway. So yeah, I thought this would be really fun to do. If you don't know who Simlicy is, I'm sure you do. She's just reached 100,000 subscribers. And this was sort of her way of celebrating that. I really enjoy Simlicy's build. She's definitely my favorite builder when it comes to The Sims. I love her style. I love the little background story she comes up with for all the families that live in her house. It really adds some like detail to the house, and it makes you actually kind of feel like this family lives in the house, and I just love that about her. Like I love that she's able to do that, and I try to do it too, but I'm not able to capture like the details that she does with like all the clutter, and she's very, very into little details about her houses, and I always try to do the same thing, but it's like a talent, and she has that natural talent. She's just a naturally really good builder. You should definitely check out her channel if you haven't already. I never miss any of her videos. They're all really good and very inspiring as well, because they're not all the same. There are a lot of builders whose builds are all the same, like they're all either modern or they're all just family homes, or you know what I mean? And it does get a little bit repetitive, but with her, there's always some kind of new theme. She's always asking her viewers to sort of give her ideas about what other themes she could do. And I like that she's always trying to change things up a little bit. So for this build, the thing that I struggle the most with is probably the floor plan and the roof. Because this is the outside right now that you see is not what I ended up going with. I put those round windows on those dormers, and I did not like them at all. And then I realized what I really needed to do was remove the roof and create actual rooms on top of the roof, and then put the roof. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. But what I didn't want like the dormers to be just roof. I wanted them to be room with roof on top. So that is one of the things I changed, and you don't actually see me do that because I did cut out a lot of the roofing. It took a really long time to get to where I wanted it to be. I'm super proud of it now, but it was very, very time consuming. It took an embarrassingly long time. I don't even want to say how long. This video is sped up, I think 9 times, which is a little unusual for me. Usually I do between 6 and 8. 9 is pretty high, but you can tell that it's going by really quickly. But this build took quite a while, and I've been trying to make my videos a little bit shorter because sometimes I think speed builds are a little bit hard to pay attention to, I guess, for like 30 minutes. So I am trying to speed things up a little bit faster to try to get to the end of the video where the screenshots are, because I know a lot of people will just skip ahead to the screenshots anyway. I'm guilty of doing that sometimes as well. But I guess if a build is like an hour long, and some of them are, then you'll definitely lose me. Like I kind of drags on too much, so I've been trying to just keep them a little bit shorter. What's funny is that I wanted to go for a different color scheme that I hadn't really done before, and I was using this mint colored siding, and by the time it was over I realized that the entire exterior was the exact same colors that I did for my collab with A Girl Who Sims, and so I ended up actually changing it at the end. It may not even be in the screenshots. No, it should be in the screenshots, but I changed it from mint to gray, which was not a huge change at all. Like you could barely even tell that I changed it, but I just thought it looked a little bit better. Right now, just looking at the front of it, I'm just so not happy with it, and I'm glad that I do end up changing it. I'm not sure when you'll actually see the outside change over. Like I said, I did cut that out. It just took way too long to figure that out. I need to get better at my roofing. I definitely do. It's something that I have such a hard time with. Landscaping used to be my biggest issue, but now it's just roofs. Sometimes they're really good, and sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing, and it shows. So I started with the kitchen. The main floor has a lot of space, actually. I could have done the master bedroom downstairs, and looking back, I kind of almost wish that I had. I instead turned one of the I turned that back area that has all the windows, I was thinking of making that a sunroom, but then I decided that maybe this family could be sort of a creative musical family, so I put like a piano back there instead. And yeah, I don't know. The floor plan is a little iffy on the main floor. Like, I like where everything is, I'm just not sure if I should have maybe made the master bedroom on the main floor, but it's too late now. I did imagine a family of 4 living in this house, 2 parents and their 2 daughters, 1 teenager and 1 child. And I was kind of going for not too fancy of a home. Like, it's obviously a larger family home, it's nicer as well. But what I wanted to go for was something I use a lot of the Parenthood pack. So like, it's definitely a family type home with a bit of a country-ish vibe, especially in their kitchen. I really like the colors in the kitchen, and I'm happy with how that turned out. Kitchens are definitely my strong point, I would say. Even though some of them kind of look the same, they get a little bit repetitive, but it's hard to kind of, when you're stuck in your ways. But the best way to kind of learn about different design and different layouts and things like that, and different things you can do in your houses, is just to watch other simmers. And that's mostly where I get my inspiration from, is by watching other YouTubers and how they do their houses. It kind of makes you realize that you've been stuck doing the same thing over and over again, and you don't even realize that you can actually do things a little bit differently and change it up. So that's what I've been trying to do lately. This bathroom is quite plain. I was cluttering it up too much, I realized. I didn't want too much in there, so I kind of just kept it how it was. And of course, the toilet where it is where Simlicy put it, and I'm not allowed to move it. And I would have if I was able to, because I don't really like where it is. But that was the challenging part, is just trying to make everything work with where it already was. And I love the idea of placing these items and saying like, okay, just work with this, make it work in your build. I really like it. I think it was a fun idea, even though it was a little bit challenging. So this floor has a bathroom and a laundry room on either side of the kitchen, and then it also has a dining room, which I put just before the back door there, and then a very spacious living room as well, which I'm working on now. I played around a little bit with the floor plan, thinking like maybe I wanted a wall there, and then I thought maybe I wanted it open, and I go back and forth so much, and I actually do end up turning that into a little office behind the living room. And it's just funny to see how like all over the place I was with this. And I was jumping from room to room, and I wouldn't completely finish one room before I moved on to the next one, and it was kind of a mess. This one was a little bit, like, it really was a challenge for me. I didn't find it that easy. I kind of thought I would just sit down and build this house and kind of just have a relaxing time and listen to some other videos and just do whatever. And it ended up being a little bit more than that. It was a little more challenging than I expected, which is good though. It's fun to do that kind of thing. I'm happy with how it turned out though. It is quite similar though to all my other builds, but my regular building type style. I think that I do family homes a little bit too much, and I need to work out of that a little bit. Like, the suburban houses are mostly what I do. I've been trying to do some more modern or contemporary houses as well. But this one, since it's my style, I found it came quite naturally, like designing it, and it was fun. I just didn't think it was going to be this hard to work around the obstacles that were placed, but I think I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I don't know how much this house turned out to be, but I always say this when I build a house, but I always want to move some Sims in and play in the house. And of course, I have no plans of doing that yet. My Sims can never afford the houses I build. That's the problem, because I don't use money cheats, and my Sims can never afford these houses. But I could maybe go in and downsize a few things, make it a little bit more affordable, and then move a Sim in. But yeah, I'm hoping at some point, I'm not sure in which one of my Let's Plays, but I am hoping that at some point I'll have some Sims living in this house. Now that table, it was not working there. I wanted to move it over so badly, but I couldn't. So I put a whole bunch of cookbooks there and stacked them up. I imagine maybe the mom or the dad likes to cook, so I just put a whole bunch of books on it and thought, I hope that's good enough. But that table was a bit of a challenge. I also imagined a dog living in this house, so I did put a pet bowl, and there was also, I think I put some toys around the house, and there's a pet bed upstairs too, so I did remember those things. Sometimes I'll imagine a pet lives there, and then I totally forget to add a few things, especially litter boxes. I'm really bad with that. So now I'm on to the entryway. So for that, I just there's a closet there to start with, which I think kind of works really well with that entry. And then I also put that shelf with the leashes on it, but I think it's way too big. It's much better if you size it down. So I sized it down just one size and then put that on the wall there. It just fit a lot better, and I think it looks better there, and it doesn't look like it's too small either, so it works really well. And I did put a bench underneath it as well that I imagine like people can sit there and put their shoes on. And I also put like an umbrella stand and I think a coat rack, some clutter items in the entryway. I feel like it's a pretty realistic entryway, especially for a house that has kids in it. I have like some tennis balls, and there's a basketball, and there's like a backpack, and just a little bit of clutter at the front entry there that I think just kind of makes it look realistic. And I left that whole back area completely blank for a little while. I had to think about what I wanted to do with that. So I went upstairs and did the bedrooms instead. I've been on a bit of a blue kick lately. I've been using a lot of blues. My last build was a blue Suburban because that was my little Simlicy Build challenge, and since that's kind of like a meme on her channel, I decided to go for that. And then the one before that I think was blue too, which is actually the neighbors for this house, I believe. It's like the family classic, it was called. And yeah, I've just been doing a little bit too much blue, but I couldn't stay away from it. I saw that bedding and I knew I had to use it. I really love that bedding. And I don't know, I feel like I'm just comfortable with blues. I like the way they look, and it just, yeah, it looks nice. So that's pretty much it for the master bedroom. I didn't do too much for that. I didn't clutter this house up too much. It was going to be my intention. I thought that I would have it super cluttered, but it didn't end up being that way. I think it's a pretty good balance. Like, there's quite a few things in the house. It's probably really expensive, but it doesn't have too much stuff. It's not too cramped. And then this is the ensuite bathroom. I don't think I put the bathrooms in the screenshots because they're so boring. They're just very, very plain. They're all the same tile, same toilet, same shower. There's no variety when it comes to the bathrooms, but for some reason I always want them all to match, so that's just what I do. And then this bedroom here is the child's bedroom. I thought like maybe a girl could live in this room, and for some reason, again, I went with the blue. I love that bed though. The thing is, I always start with a bed, and then I try to get everything to sort of match the bed. Like all the other furniture, the wallpaper, I try to make it all match. And this was the bed I wanted to use. I don't think I've used it before, not that color anyway. That bed that came with Seasons though, I just love it. It's one of my favorite beds in the game, and I don't use it enough. But I'm happy I used it for this one. So I did have like a little shelf there above the desk, and has some clutter items. I put like a little drawing table with some drawings above it, a dollhouse, of course, that has a closet as well. What's weird is that the master bedroom does not have a closet, but the other two bedrooms do. I don't know, it wasn't working, so I left it without a closet, but it's a big enough room that I feel like it still works. And then for this room, I've been doing feature walls as well lately, or like two tones, which I did do in the master bedroom, and then for this one I did grays and blue, which I think looks nice. And then this room is the teenage girls room. I was gonna do that green color, but then I didn't want brown furniture to match. For some reason, I just felt like if I've been doing whites or creams or whatever, I have to stick with that. Even if it's a totally separate room for the rest of the house, I do try to stick with that theme. So I went with white furniture instead. Cluttered things up a bit because it is a teenager's room. There's definitely a lot of stuff in here. I was going to do the lava lamp, but the problem with the lava lamp is that it changes the entire tone of the room. It gives it a strange glow, which sometimes I don't mind, but for this build, it wasn't really working for me. And then I went with this purple wallpaper as well. For this room, I tried to stay away from the color blue completely because I knew that it was overkill. I was overdoing it. And then this hallway here is kind of open. It's a little bit big, so I wanted to at least put a few things in the hallway to fill it up. So I put like a table and a rug and a plant and just a few things. And then out here I wanted a hot tub, but it was way too big. So I actually just ended up putting a couple of chairs and a little table, and I think that's pretty much, I think I put some like plants out there as well, just to sort of fill it up. But I think that'd be a nice place just to sit out there and relax. There's also like some wind chimes out there. And then for the backyard, I don't remember if I cut that out or not. I really don't remember. I know that like there's terrain paint, but actually I think I did do the backyard, and then I went in and did the final room, which is weird because normally I either do all of the inside and then the outside, or all of the outside and then the inside. But, oh, and you can see now that I've changed the roof as well on the outside. Played around with that forever, but you'll see the final product in the screenshots. It just, I'm sorry I had to cut that out, but it was really bad. Like, it took so long, and I knew that it would be really boring to watch. So now just doing some landscaping, adding some flowers to the front of the house, and I think I put a mailbox out there. And then for the back, I didn't want too much out there, but I did want some like color, so I put some of these white and blue plants. There's a barbecue, a picnic table. I did put a couple of trees, and oh, there's like a little dog obstacle as well. I wasn't really sure how many of those I should do, so I just went with the one. And I like that big willow tree back there as well. I think it makes it look really nice. And I think that's pretty much it. Just a couple more trees at the back. There's a sprinkler back there. Yeah, the backyard's not too, like, it's not too busy, but I think it's adequate enough that you could actually spend time out there. And just a few plants on the front step there. And then I think now we're going to be going on into the inside. That back room that I struggled with for so long, I finally furnished it. So I went with this little room here is an office. So I put like a computer, a bookshelf, a lamp, like just basic, typical, boring office stuff. It's not that exciting of a room, but I feel like it's functional, so it's kind of necessary for a lot of houses. I don't often have a family that doesn't have a computer, so I thought that'd be a good space for it. And then the other room, I decided to put a grand piano. I think I put a fish tank in there, and an easel as well, and a couple of guitars. I feel like this could just be a creative family, and they spend a lot of time in that room. I didn't put a lot of clutter in there because I wanted it to be kind of like an open creative space. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this build. If you want to download it, it will be on the gallery. My origin ID is SimQueen 1992. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching.